She always worries I'll get into trouble under Parker's influence. According to her, his mother Pam doesn't keep a close enough eye on him. It's true that Parker spends a lot of time alone, but it isn't his mother's fault. His father was killed in a car crash when Parker was a baby, and she has to work. So what if she goes out at night and leaves Parker home by himself once in a while? No matter what Mom thinks, Parker doesn't take advantage of it. "We want to go one more time," I said, "while it's still so nice and warm and all." I munched a cookie and waited for Mom to answer. I was kind of hoping she'd say no and save me all the trouble of getting the tent, an old Kmart special, out of the attic. But you know how parents are. If I'd been dying to go, she would have said no, but since I wasn't all that hot on it, she said yes. Then she had to add, "The exercise would do you good." That made Parker laugh. For some reason, he and I are developing at very different rates. A year or two ago, we were about the same size, but now that we're 12, Parker is getting taller and leaner every day, and I seem to be staying the same height, but getting rounder. I've even developed this awful little spare tire around my waist, like a middle-aged man, and I sure didn't appreciate Mom's drawing Parker's attention to it. Leaving Parker with Mom, I got the tent out of the attic. Then I threw some stuff in my backpack. On my way to the kitchen, I had the bad luck to pass my little sister, Charity, in the hall. If ever a kid was misnamed, Charity was. At the sight of me, she and her friend Tiffany started cackling like chickens in a barn. "Fatty, fatty 2x4, they chanted. "Can't get through the kitchen door." I paused and glared down at her. Should I care what a couple of 6-year-old twits said? "Stupid," I muttered. Charity stuck out her tongue and made her bratty little face even uglier, but I ignored her. Pushing her out of my way, I stuck my head into the kitchen. "Come on, Parker," I said. "Let's get out of here." He smiled at Mom, took one more cookie, and followed me down the back steps. No matter how Mom feels about Pam, Parker always manages to charm her into liking him. We strapped the tent on my bike and rode over to Parker's house. He lives on the other side of town, not a long ride, and we pedaled slowly, enjoying the weather. All around us leaves drifted down, yellow and red and gold. In the big yards on Appleton Street, people were raking them up as fast as they fell, and the air was mellow with wood smoke. The houses we passed were the biggest and oldest in town, and almost all of them were decorated for Halloween. Jack-o'-lanterns grinned on front porches, scarecrows lounged on the steps, ghosts made of bed sheets hung in the upper windows of a house with a tower on the side. Like a little kid, I was looking forward to Halloween and the fall festival, 2 whole days of food and fun, costumes and prizes, parades and speeches. It was the most exciting thing Woodcroft ever did, and people came every year from as far away as Washington, D.C., to buy handmade crafts and food, watch the parade, have their faces painted, and ride in horse-drawn hay wagons. Everybody wore costumes, and there were prizes for things like the funniest or the scariest or the prettiest. Last year, my parents won the best couple prize for dressing up like Bonnie and Clyde and shooting everybody with water pistols. It was very embarrassing, and I was glad they were dressing as George and Martha Washington this year. "What are you going to be for Halloween?" I asked Parker as we bumped over the train tracks and coasted down Cattail Hill. Parker glanced at me. His hair was blowing straight back from his face, and he had his hands in the back pockets of his jeans, showing off his perfect balance and nerve. He shrugged. "Some kind of monster," he said. "Frankenstein, maybe? Or one of the Walking Dead?" "I was thinking of Dracula," I told him. "Mom has a long black cape and Dad's got an old waiter's uniform he wore years ago." Parker nodded. "I saw some great makeup kits in the Ben Franklin store. You can get fangs and green glop for your face and this stuff that makes really gross scars." We talked about Halloween the rest of the way to Parker's, planning the route we'd take for trick-or-treating and speculating about which houses to hit first. We didn't want to make the mistake we'd made last year when we'd found out Miss Atkins was handing out full-size